And we are live. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? Hopefully your Tuesday is going great. Those you're out there, hopefully your Tuesday is going great. So I'm just going live right now, answer a few questions with regards to credit and debt. Hopefully you guys can hear me. And so we are going to go live. Let me check something out. So let me know questions about credit and debt. So let's see what we talk about. What's going on this week? What is happening with regards to everything? So as some of you guys know, American Express actually dropped even more of my accounts. So all of my accounts that I have with them, that I had like 6 accounts or more, they dropped the balances to on every single one of my accounts to about anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 when I had a larger amount across the board. With regards to that, they dropped them all down, but I did submit my paperwork with regards to my money and so forth. It's going to take about 10 days to see if I get that money back. So hopefully that happens with regards to I'm going to throw my email as well as my website, askadebtcollector.com. Or maybe we do www.askadebtcollector. So there at the website, if you need a free letter bundle, which is what I consider it, it's a Goodwill letter. And for those of you who don't know what a Goodwill letter is, if you have a good establishment with a creditor and maybe in 2 years you've had 2 late payments, a Goodwill letter will help remove that late payment. So if you click that link, you can get that. Also, you can get a free pay to delete letter. Pay to delete letter is a good strategy that you can use if, in fact, you end up having to pay off an account. You can send them a pay to delete letter to help them actually delete the account. And then the other thing that you can get is a cease and desist letter. So with that cease and desist letter, you can use that, and that can help you with regards to if you got collection agencies calling you, harassing you, you can issue that cease and desist letter, and that'll actually stop them from actually calling you. Now, understand something about the cease and desist letter. If you send a cease and desist letter to a company, debt collection company in particular, what ends up happening is yes, it will stop them from calling you every single day with regards to the account. But if the account is suit worthy, that gives them grounds to file suit. And what do I mean? Depending on the state that you live in, there's a statute of limitation with regards to when a company can sue you, right? And so when that company can actually sue you depends. So if you're in the state of California, I believe it's 3 years. If you're, in Ohio, it's like 10 years. They can actually sue on a credit card account for 10 years. So it just depends. So you don't want to send a cease and desist letter if it's in the statute of limitation where they can sue you, because then that gives them grounds to actually move forward with regards to a suit. Yeah, no one's watching, but it's new. I mean, I only have like 1,000 subscribers, and I got to figure out, what's the best way and how to go about that, but no biggie. As I keep continuing doing this, just like I started out with the YouTube page, I only had 0 subscribers and I was putting up videos. And as time progressed, the people who like you will come if they like the information and so forth, and that will transpire. But So yeah, I get it, Jaden. Everybody don't like everybody. But it's okay, because as time progresses and things go, that's what it is. So I have something coming down the pipeline, which is coaching, right? But what I'm going to do is going to be lifestyle coaching with regards to the mentality, right? We want to get the mind right first with regards to everything. It's going to include budgeting, right? Figuring out your money, understanding how much money's coming in, how much money's going out. And then I'm going to add in credit repair. So those of you who sign up for it will get credit repair and business funding and building with regards to that. So I'm getting the website done with regards to that, getting that all set up. And exclusively for those who subscribe to my YouTube channel, check these live videos out and everything, I'm going to give a deal. So just keep an eye out for that. Email me if you want information with regards to that. As of now, I'm going to be taking only the first 25 people. So if you're wanting to line up or get signed up for that, this is going to be a life-changing event for every single person who puts in the work and does what it is that I'm saying to do to take you from where you're at to get you to where you need to be. And so I'm going to have that up and set that up with regards to that. So maybe I can do something. Let me see. I don't know. Is there a way I can grab this and throw it on, letting people know I'm live on Facebook and Instagram? But that don't matter. So you guys have any questions about debt or credit, let me know, or even about life in general. I every morning at 9 o'clock, I actually do a Zoom call. It's called Breakthrough Mornings. I want to invite all you guys to it. This group has actually helped change my life with regards to how I view myself and everything that's going on. Hidden advice on timeshares that's been on the credit for 6 years and still with the original company. Timeshares are a very difficult thing. This is what I would tell you with regards to your timeshare. It's been 6 years on your credit for 6 years. So when you say it's been on your credit for 6 years, is that from when was the date that you actually made the last payment? That's when the clock starts to know that 6-year time span. So if you figure that out, because you're so close to that almost 7-year time span, there's a possibility you can get it removed by just saying that, the account is outdated. But it's key. Did they end up 2016? Okay. So 2016. So this is what I would tell you to do. I do a thing called factual disputing, right? And with factual disputing, you're looking at all 3 of your credit bureaus and finding an accuracy and sending a letter. Email me. I don't know if it's still showing in the chat, jmcneil@barrettrecovery.com. Choice. All right. I don't even know how to pronounce your name, so I'm not going to even try to. I'm going to say the last name, Carter. Email me and we can look. I can tell you what to do as far as looking at that account and factually disputing it. Finding an inaccuracy, sending the correct letter to the credit bureaus to get rid of it. That's how I get rid of all my accounts. Any account that we actually get deleted off of credit report is factual dispute. And I know you guys hear a lot about that. It's sort of kind of hard to, well, it's not hard to explain because you're basically looking at your credit profile. You got to get credit monitoring where you can see all 3 of the credit reports, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, where it shows all 3. And typically you're not going to get all 3 unless you actually pay for credit monitoring, which is something I do recommend that everybody does get. But when you look across all 3 of those, if something is inaccurate, they have to be the same on each credit bureau. If something's inaccurate, that's called a factual disputing. You highlight that and you delete it with regards to that. But you have to get credit monitoring. Unfortunately, I know a lot of people don't want to pay for it, but it's worth its money in gold. I say it's like your report card and something you have to pay each month. But for those of you who want to get it for free, you can go through Credit Karma, which gives a Vantage score. But that's beside the point. At least that way, through Credit Karma, you'll get Equifax and TransUnion. And then you can pull a copy through Experian directly, and you can get Experian for free. The only problem is by getting it through two different credit monitoring service companies, you won't be able to factual dispute, because when you're factually disputing, you have to actually make a copy of what it is that you're sending to the credit bureaus to send to the credit bureaus, and you can't show different ones. So you want to show all three across the board. But yeah, so Carter, yeah, factually disputing. If you want to know, email me and I could tell you what to do with regards to that, the template and everything concerning that. So feel free to do that. So what else is going on with you guys? How is the economy? Is the inflation? Is actually technically we're in a recession right now? Is it hitting anybody? You guys working 9 to 5s? Are you guys entrepreneurs? What's going on out there? Let me know. If you feel if you're okay with divulging that information. Yep, no problem, Carter. How do you pronounce your first name? Charisse? Is it Charisse? Hope that's right. Charisse? I'm guessing Charisse Carter. But anyways, let me know with regards to that. Let me think. What is going on with regards to a lot of stuff? Yep. Oh, Charisse. Okay, so I was right. Yeah. I figured the Y was probably silent. Charisse, what, if you don't mind, how about this? So we're not putting your information all on blast if you're still in this chat. Is your credit score in the 4s, the 5s, or the 6s? You don't mind putting that down. And how long, another question I have with regards to that timeshare. Always hear a lot of bad stuff with regards to it. I've gone to those, I've taken advantage. 7s. Okay, great. I've taken advantage of those timeshares. You know how they get you to come in Vegas. I've gotten like free rooms and free stuff, but I know not to actually sign up for it. Those timeshares, just because I hear a lot of bad stuff. My sister and my brother-in-law are locked in. Those things are like forever, and it's no wonder. I remember I used to always think like, how can they afford to just give people free rooms? And then they get these groups that come in, and it'd be like 50 people, and then I'll hear people ringing those bells, and they'll get like 4 or 5 people to actually sign up, and it's almost like a mortgage. You're locked in forever, and you're pretty much paying for that ever. And then one of the things you don't realize is the maintenance fees. Every single year, those maintenance fees go up, but they get you by saying, hey, you go on vacations. Don't you plan on going on vacation once or twice a year? Well, it makes sense here. It's going to be cheaper. And it makes a lot of sense. I remember I've gone and taken advantage, and like I said, and gotten those free rooms. But, there was one time they almost got me to sign up for one, and I'm happy I didn't. But, every once in a while they'll reach out to me, and depending on what's going on in my life and my family, I will take advantage of just the free stuff. And I know I'm not going to buy anything. I don't allow them to convince me to do it. But yeah, I mean, if you got the money and so forth, that's it. So Miss Carter, you are in the 7s. Yes, $900 a year. Yes, it gets costly with regards to that. But you have to be cool. So what about business credit? What about business? Do you work like a 9 to 5, or do you actually have, and I'm talking to Charisse, or do you actually have a, are you an entrepreneur? And what city or what state are you guys from? Not city, because you got to be careful nowadays. I don't want nobody trying to get you. So what states are you guys coming from? I'm in California, or if you don't know, I'm in California. Also, if you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Asset Debt Collector. I have over 250 videos there just talking about credit and debt, as well as I own a credit repair business. So have that set up. The reality is next week, next Tuesday, I actually will not be going live. I will be out of town. We are going on a cruise. It's something my family does. We do it a lot. This cruise, actually, we're going to have a lot of other people. 9 to 5, just got my EIN number. Okay, so you got your social security number for your business. That's awesome. You're in Virginia. Cool. A lot of people look like us live there, which is awesome. 9 to 5. So your EIN number. Okay. So do you have an LLC or is it like a sole prop business? Sole prop. And for those of you who are joining in, if you got any questions or anything, put it in the comment section. I will definitely try and answer it. Virginia. So I wonder, is it a sole prop or do you actually have an LLC or is it an S corp or are you just getting started out? Because if you have a 700 credit score, now is the time with that EIN number and that business to leverage that personal credit to get it going. It's an LLC. Okay, perfect. So do you have any business credit going on right now with that? Hate to be asking you only questions, but you're the one interacting. So we're gonna get you some questions answered. We're gonna get something. I'm gonna try and help you out with regards to that. If you do not have any business credit set up, I recommend, because a lot of people say those net 30 accounts, the Quill and so forth, which is cool if you got time and you're trying to build out credit and your personal credit is not good, but it's not something I recommend. Your best bet is to leverage that personal credit. And yes, they use your social security number, but the information only reflects on your business credit, right? So not yet, just getting started. Okay, so perfect. With this business, my business, Clear and Strategic Credit Restoration Services, I leveraged my personal credit, and I ended up getting 2 credit cards through American Express. They were both $10,000 each with 0 APR for the year. So I was able to take that 20 grand basically for free because as we know, if you go inside the bank and you're trying to get a bank loan, they ain't going to give you no loan without some type of money going through that bank account. So it's something that I recommend people do. If your personal credit is good, you leverage that personal credit to start out with the business credit. So with the 20 grand, I was able to leverage my credit repair company and I got 20 grand, 0% interest free. So instead of getting an SBA loan or instead of trying to go to your bank, your local bank and get a loan, a business loan where they're going to want tax returns or they're going to want you to have the business established for 2 years and all of that type of stuff, you can leverage your personal credit if you're in the 700s and actually get credit cards with 0% interest rate on the business side. So you are given a personal guarantee, which basically means they're going to use your social security number, which basically means if you do not pay that loan, then it will go on your personal credit. But as long as you're making that minimum payment or you're doing what you're doing, it's not like on your personal side where your credit utilization matters so much. If you maxed out that $10,000 or $20,000 and hopefully you did it soundly for stuff to grow your business and it was going to take you some time to make some money with regards to that, you can actually, it's not going to hurt your personal side. So if you had 20 grand worth of credit and your utilization was at $18,000, it's not going to determine or hurt you on the personal side. And that's one of the things I always tell people, especially getting into real estate. I had a buddy, a friend of mine who I actually have known for years. He hated the fact, he has credit cards with large balances and he would, leverage those credit cards on the personal side, but then his utilization would go way up and then his score would come down. And so I basically told him that same trick with regards to the business. You got the LLC. American Express is really good. They have a business cash reward and a business plus account that I recommend people do. All you got to do is Google American Express, because I'm not going to get anything from it. Google American Express, look up the business. And if you have good personal credit, I didn't have $1 in my credit repair business, and I was able to leverage that and start out 20 grand right off the bat. So that's something I recommend you guys do with regards to that. So, yep. Miss Carter, I think, you're in the 700s. You're above a lot of people. And there's nothing wrong with it because I myself was in the debt collection industry making a large amount of money and still believing cash was king and didn't establish my credit. I probably had like a 550 or 560 credit score because I did have some negative stuff on that I never paid. And I just didn't care because I thought, I'm making 12 grand plus a month. Why do I need to care about credit? And then you realize credit is everything. Cash ain't nothing. And, you know, it took having a mentor of mine who's very wealthy. Most people, almost 85% of people who are super wealthy in this world, they have money in real estate. So you learn that. But yeah, so that's a way you can leverage your personal credit on the business side instead of getting those net 30 accounts where you have to buy stuff that you don't necessarily need. And then it takes you 6 months to a year of building it up before you can actually get a credit card that's going to help your company. You could just leverage your personal credit, start that way and get going. But it just depends on your situation and what you're going through to figure out the best way to go about that. But it's awesome in that aspect. I mean, I even have friends who make, you know, 7 figures a year working like a 9 to 5. And yep, that's how we're taught, right? In inner cities, right? We go and it's like cash, cash, cash. And then you realize no one actually ever spends cash. You're going to be limited to what you can do. It's a lot easier to go get $10,000 worth of credit, other people's money, if you leverage your personal credit, than trying to save $10,000 for the average person. So I always tell you, get your credit right. You can leverage it with regards to that. But yeah, wife, I had to teach her with regards to credit as well. Credit is everything. America's built on credit. Even when you put your money in the bank, when you look at your statement and it shows how much money you have in there, they consider it a credit, right? And banks make money off of what is called a fractional reserve. I don't know if you guys know what a fractional reserve is. Look that up. Sort of kind of crooked. If everybody tried to take the money out of the bank right now in America, you wouldn't be able to. You want to know why? Things called a fractional reserve. The fractional reserve, what that basically means is actual financial institutions. That's why it's so big. They're always wanting people to open a bank account, right? And then they have deals out there. Hey, you open a bank account, we'll give you $50. You refer a friend, you get $25. Open a bank account. Because for every dollar you put inside of a bank, the bank is then able to take your $1 and create $3 and let that be borrowed. And that's what a fractional reserve is. For every dollar you put in the bank is able to take your dollar and then lend it to a person, somebody else, $3 worth of lending power. And some banks up to 9 times that amount. And so that's how they basically make their money. They basically take your money, and because of the laws and how things are set up, you put $10 in there, your average bank can let someone else borrow $30 worth. So if we all try to take our money out, it's going to hurt you. I work with my husband's credit from 3 to over 700. Okay. So how long did it take you to actually build your credit? I'm curious. When you start learning, or did you hire a professional or did you do it yourself? I didn't know that. Wow. Yep. It's called a fractional reserve. That's how banks make money. They take your money and then they're able to lend out more money on top of that. Every 1,000 comes in, they're able to lend out 3,000. And the bigger banks are able to lend out, 4, 5, 6, 7, up to 9 times that amount. So that's what it is with regards to it. And your banks and putting your money in the banks and so forth. Let me try something here. I'm still here, but I am going to go on Facebook really quick. Tell people I'm live. Create a post. But yeah. Yep. Fractional reserve. Let's see if somebody else had anything. 3 years. I did it myself. It was well worth it. Great. Yep. True. It took me about 1.5 years with the knowledge I had on the debt collection side. So But yeah, that's the thing. Because you got that knowledge for yourself, you were able to take that knowledge and impute it to your husband. Another thing, if you got kids, those of you who have kids, if your kid is at least 14 years of age or older, or 13 years of age or older, I always mention American Express because that's who I've had forever, even though they're not being too nice to me now. My son, he's 13. He's 14 now, but I added him as an authorized user on one of my credit cards to start building his credit. Sharice, I recommend if you do have kids around that age, start building that credit early. He's 14 now. His FICO score is already at like a 720. And all he has is that one credit card. And so by the time he turns 18, he should be well off. I'm going to add him to another credit card pretty soon. And then when he turns 15, I'm going to add him to like 3 of them. And he'll be authorized user on all 3 of those accounts. And like for those of you who follow me on YouTube, with my wife, when I was cleaning up both of our credit, her score was always higher than mine. And the reason why is because her mom, who understood credit as far as not like teaching it, but she understood it. She was an authorized user on one of her mom, till this day, on one of her mom's credit cards, which is like a $50,000 limit, but she's had the car for over 20 years, revolving credit. So as we were cleaning up credit, she was getting approved for stuff that I didn't. But that's why you got a tag team. So with your husband, with the credit cards that you have, and if he has a problem with spending, you add him as authorized user, but you don't give him the credit cards. So that way he gets that good history and you guys piggyback off of each other. And that'll help you guys a lot more with your credit utilization and so forth concerning that. So, yeah. So my son, got him established, American Express. So when he turns 18, his credit will be cool, A1. Unlike my credit, where when I turned 18, I had stuff in my name that I didn't even know. So we want to change that trajectory. All my kids are over 30, but my first grandchild will be 14 next year. I will be adding her. Okay, perfect. Yep. So you could do that. At 13, you could do it American Express. Some credit cards you can even do earlier. I remember they didn't even have a limit on some of the credit cards, but yep, that's awesome. Adding her on there, getting her set up with regards to that. So, like I said, I am starting a coaching business. I'm going to have everything set up. If you're interested in that, I put my email in the chat. I'll put it again. Email at barry.com. Hit me up there. We are going to be changing lives. I guarantee you that. I'm going to be adding in a lot of stuff. So not only will it be mindset type stuff, not only will it be budgeting, figuring out where your money is and figuring out what to do. I'm a big advocate of 3 to 6 months of reserves in case something pops up with inflation, everything that's happening. You got to have that set aside. Some people aren't able to do it, so you can do it on the credit side. But nevertheless, that, and then we'll be cleaning up credit for those of you who need credit cleaned up and building business credit as well, which I think is very key for you. Miss Carter, your credit's good now. You got to leverage that. Start building that business credit. The reason why I say that is because on the personal side, you can get a certain amount of credit. I mean, I have over $250,000 on that side, but it took me 5 years to get to that place. On the business side, you can build that same amount in a fraction of that time span. And it's a lot easier once you start understanding it, right? And the key and what my plan is to eventually my car, my house, any Jermaine J, the individual, owns nothing. Everything will be in LLCs and in business names and so forth. Obviously, to protect it on one thing, and secondly, to be able to get the best benefits with regards to taxes, right? You got to understand. Society where everything's set up. You work 9 to 5, which is nothing wrong with it. I'll never knock a 9 to 5, but your taxes is taken before you even see your check, right? They take in Social Security, they take in federal, they take in, if you have state taxes in your state, they take in that stuff. When you have a business, you get your money first and then you pay taxes after. And then if you do things right, you don't even pay taxes, right? For the most part. if you set it up right, or you pay little to none, because that amount of money that they hold, especially for you high earners, people making $100,000 plus, you guys know how much those taxes come out. But if you have a business and you set up aside a business, you 1099 the money, have it go straight to the business account, and then there's a way where you can, take away from taxes. Yep. So yeah, that's a way you can help with regards to taxes and save yourself the money in that aspect with regards to that. Miss Carter, it's me and you. Any questions? Anything you want to know with regards to that? It's awesome that you have grandkids and so forth. You're living in Virginia, so that's awesome too. But yeah, that's where it is, man. 9 to 5s is cool, but that's why the government gives people like Elon Musk and individuals who employ a lot of people, because that's where majority of their money comes from. It's the middle class. It's the people who work the 9 to 5. They're the people who, keep this economy going. In all actuality, are high earners. The athletes, the actors, and so forth. If they don't set up their entities and stuff right, they're going to be paying a lot of money in taxes, which actually, helps the company run. But the government always gives incentives for business owners, right? Because it makes it a lot easier. You're going to employ people, which means more revenue and taxes for the government. They understand that. And so it's very key with regards to that. So what is going on? What is happening with you guys? You guys got any questions about credit or debt? I actually didn't put up thing. I'm actually writing on my YouTube page really quick. Any questions? Alrighty. So let me post that really quick. Boom. I am back to you guys. Alrighty. Don't really know where to start. Was thinking my Navy Federal. Navy Federal's great. You have an LLC. They actually have a business account that I'm actually going to be applying for pretty soon here, probably within the next week or so. Once I get my website established for my coaching business. But yeah, Navy Federal. If you bank with a credit union, I bank with Navy Federal. Navy Federal is what it is. You have your LLC. The only thing about their business credit card, they don't actually report on business credit, but and I think they do a personal guarantee and so forth. So if you have a good relationship with them, it'll be easy to get some cash, a credit card through them. And obviously you can leverage that, right, as you're building and what you're doing with your LLC. But yeah, I say you can start there. Another place is American Express. Just Google American Express and look at their American Express business credit cards, and they're similar. You're going to have to leverage that personal credit, but because your business is not established, I take it you don't have thousands of dollars running through there where you can try and just do it through the EIN number. But you can leverage that money there. You know what? I recommend that you apply for the Navy Federal business account, and with them, unfortunately, you're not able to do it online. You got to actually call in, but I'd say do it there. Medical bills, I have 3 under. So with medical bills, this is the thing. Depending on the timing, because there's some new laws that pass before they can place a medical bill on your credit profile after 6 months. Now they have to wait a year. So they're not going to place that on your debt until after a year. Number 2, come the beginning of 2023, depending on what's going on with you, Any medical bills that are $500 or lower will no longer be placed on your credit. That's what, right around the corner. So if you wanted to wait till that time span, I would do that. I would actually wait till those medical accounts are off of your credit before applying for the business stuff too. So, yeah. So come the new year, 2023, I think January, towards the middle of January, any medical debt that's $500 or lower will not be on your credit. So if it's still, and if there's a lot of people who have accounts that will be still on your credit. So what you do is you dispute it, and in your dispute, you just put down that this is a medical debt that's under $500, and it no longer should be placed on my credit, and it should be removed. But they're supposed to be removing it, but obviously it's going to be hard. There are going to be a lot of people who still have the stuff on there years from when they passed that law. But as long as you set it up, do that. So yeah, if you have collection accounts, I wouldn't apply for those credit cards right off the bat. Get rid of those collection accounts. If you're not pressed for time, wait till the new year and they could come off with regards to that. Or if you're pressed for time and you want to get it taken care of now, you could always pay a fraction of whatever it is that's owed. And then it'll be updated as a paid at full account on your credit profile. But at least when the creditors are looking at your credit, they'll know that it's been paid. Yep. So, yeah, I'm not one of, and yeah, I know I've been in debt collections for 15 years. I've done it all. I've owned 2 debt collection companies. I've done everything. Once the new year hit is when I've always wanted to get out of the business. It's taxing. It's hard on you. And I just didn't feel like I was making a change in the world. Credit repair, I'm actually helping people. But I'm not one of those people who are like, never pay debt collections, never pay your collections. Do I own property? Yes, I do. I just recently bought a new home. And I got a lot of other stuff down the pipeline. Eventually, I want to get into investing. That's always been a dream of mine as far as the real estate goes. And so, yeah, I'm very big. I live here in California, so cost of living is a lot more expensive than a lot of places, one of the highest. But yes, I do. And eventually, I'm going to get investment properties and so forth and do that. But as far as paying debt, so the reality is this: it depends on your situation. If you're trying to buy a home, and typically credit repair is going to take you 90 days to 6 months, is what I always tell people. Wait about 90 days to see results. It's going to be in the 6 months. I'll know I should have as much stuff moved off of your credit profile. But let's say, like Miss Carter here, your FICO score is at a 700. And so you're looking at buying a home. Now, the reality is a 740 is the best you can do. So if I had a 740 FICO score, and typically when you're buying a home, they're going to pick the middle price. And what I mean is they're going to look at Equifax, TransUnion, Experian. You're going to have a high, a low, and a middle score. That middle score is the score that they're going to use. If your score is at a 740, your middle score, mine, and I have an 850 FICO score, and my score is at 850, as far as interest rate goes, we're going to get the same interest rate. We'll get the top one. So after a 740 is typically where I try and get all my clients to be. You're going to get the best interest rate at that. And obviously there's some other stuff that factor in your debt to income ratio and all of that type of stuff, but that factors in. But if I'm trying to buy a house, and like Miss Carter, you're trying to buy a home, but you got a 700, your middle score is a 700, you're going to get a pretty good interest rate. Now, they may look at your credit and say, hey, you got these 2 collection accounts. In order for you to get approved, they're wanting to see those taken care of, paid. Well, then you're going to have to pay that collection account. I get it all the time. There are a lot of people, when you pull a copy of your credit report, and you're in middle 730. Okay, so we got to get you to that 740. And I bet if you pay off those accounts or you get rid of them, I wouldn't necessarily say pay those medical bills, but get rid of them, that can get you up. And your credit utilization. So if you have credit cards, I'm a big advocate, 0. I've had 10%, I've had 5%, I've had 3%. And every time I've had a certain balance on my credit cards, I notice my FICO score drop a little bit. But when I have 0, which means I'm paying it on the statement due date, so it'll reflect a 0 balance, it helped out. But I know I'm going all over the place. So back to paying collection accounts. If you're trying to get approved for something now, not paying the account is not going to help you. Disputing the accounts is not going to help you. Actually, if you currently are disputing accounts but trying to get approved for a home, they're going to say you got to have those disputes taken care of and rectified before they can even approve you for the home. So sometimes paying that debt may be the thing you have to do. And that's just what it is. For those of you who just jumped in, if you have any questions about credit or debt, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions to the best of my ability. But yeah, so in that event, you're going to have to pay the debt, right? If you are about to close in 20 days or 30 days and they're saying, hey, we'll be able to close in 30 days, but you got to take care of these accounts, and you're going to have to pay the debt, right? There's still a way to get rid of it. You can try to pay to delete. You can still do the factual dispute method, even though you paid it, and look at that. And sometimes when an account is already paid off and you do a factual dispute, the creditor won't respond, and that'll help you out. But understand something. I've been on the other end, the debt collection side. I'm always under 5% on all my cards, which is good. I recommend 0 though. Then you're not paying any interest. Always, my motto is use your credit cards like debit cards. Only spend what you have in the bank. And when you gotta put a large amount of money on a credit card because of an emergency or something popped up, to avoid hurting your personal credit, that's why you do it on the business side. But you got to establish the personal credit first. And there's nothing wrong with keeping 5%, but that notion, because a lot of people think, oh, I keep a small balance on my cards because that's what they want to see. Credit card companies, majority of their money is not made off of interest. Understand me. It's not made off of interest. You want to know how credit card companies make money? By you as a consumer sliding the card. Why do you think in inner city spots, whenever you go inside of your local liquor store, they always have a minimum amount of money that you have to spend on the card, or they're going to charge you 75 cents, sometimes $1.25. I've seen $1.50. The reason why is because of the merchant fees. When you have a credit card dispenser, every time someone uses that credit card, they charge a fee to the person who owns that merchant. So you think they make more money off of interest or every time somebody slides a card? That's why even with debit cards, with banks, they'll say you have to use the card 3 or 4 times a month because of those merchant fees. They get a certain kickback from every time you use that debit card. And that's what Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover. Did I forget any other credit card companies? Visa is 4, MasterCard's 5, 3 is American Express, and 6 is Discover. The only reason why I know those numbers because I used to take payments all the time. And whenever you would see, and this was back in the day, it's a lot different now, but if you saw a 3 or a 6, you knew they had American Express or Discover, and the money was going to go through. And yeah, back in the day with American Express, it wasn't like a credit card. It was like almost like a charge card, right? Whatever you charge at the end of the month, you have to pay off. Now they have, it's more like a credit card where you can pay off at a certain amount of time with regards to those things. But yeah. So yeah, sometimes you're going to have to pay collection accounts, especially if we're disputing the accounts. They provide the signed contract and so forth with regards to the account. There are 2 things that can happen. You can wait till 7 years pass and wait till it to fall off of your credit profile, or you're going to have to pay it. You want to buy a car, you want to finance, get a personal loan, anything along those lines. A lot of times, if the accounts aren't able to be factually disputed, then you're going to have to figure out something else with regards to that. So anybody in here, any other questions about credit or debt? You dealing with any debt collection companies? They're talking about paying. You're finally at the point where you need to pay them. Call them last day of the month. Most collection agencies are a month-to-month business. You call them on the first day, in the middle of the month, the first day. First day, a lot of times people aren't in commission, so they're not going to be willing to give you a settlement. Towards the last day of the month, most of these companies are trying to hit specific numbers, or they're already in commission. So your payment at 50% is going to make them money, and they're going to be more willing to pay. They're going to be more willing to accept a low settlement with regards to debt. I was told that reporting 0 balances wasn't good because it shows that you're not using the card. No, it's not true. The credit card company knows if you're using the card. All of my credit cards, I'm telling you, I have them set up. And for those of you who don't know, I'll show you the stack here is the stack. Hopefully I'm not showing any numbers. But these are all credit cards in my thing. I have, 14 credit cards. All of them I keep at a zero utilization. The credit card company wants to make sure you're using the cards. So yeah, I have on my credit cards, I may use $3,000, but before it on the statement due date, I pay it to zero. So creditors look at you, even other creditors looking to vet you for it. Your debt to income matters. That's why they'll ask you questions like, how much is your rent, right? Or your mortgage. They want to get an idea before giving you a loan. And when they pull a copy of your credit report and they see those balances on there, they're already calculating how much money you're going to have. And so by keeping it at a zero makes it a lot better. So my encouragement to you, Miss Carter, keep it at zero utilization. Not only will you not, even though it's only 5% and maybe those balances are small, you're paying interest. Why pay interest? You don't have to. And it's not true. Try it. Pay it to zero. See what happens to your FICO score. And then put it back at 5% and see what happens to your FICO score. Chances are your FICO score is going to go up when the lower the credit utilization is on that card. And I've done it. I've done the work for myself and for many clients out there with regards to that. So check that out. Any questions? You guys got any questions? What's going on? How was your weekend? My wife's birthday passed up. Yep, try it. My wife's birthday passed. And I'm learning. I'm going to tell you, man, I'm not a perfect human being. I'm horrible when it comes to birthdays. And a lot of that deals with my upbringing. My birthday was 2 days before Christmas. So I always hated it, obviously, as a kid because of the mere fact that I got birthday presents and it was birthday / Christmas. So I always got gypped out of it. And then as I got older and I could buy stuff, I never waited till Christmas or till my birthday to do certain stuff. I would just do it as I got the money and just buy and took care of it. And so there's so much hoopla around birthdays. But my wife, she's totally opposite. Her parents treated her like a princess every time that came. And up until her 37th birthday that just passed, she wants to feel special. And I had gave her cash and it was just a bad thing. You don't do that. She rather, so then I found out that I had to go get our twin boys. I have twin boys. They're 5 years old. We went to the store really quick, grabbed some balloons and some stuff and made her feel a little better. And we had a birthday party actually for her. I forget what it's called. My wife's big on this, but she had these, they were like these trays. Like everyone had a specific tray. Like somebody had like a taco tray. Somebody had a hamburger tray. Somebody brought French fries tray and all these, different things. It was pretty cool. We had a lot of fun with regards to that. So that was that. So that was my weekend that just passed. And then I have an older son who's playing football and he got his first pick last Thursday, which we're pretty excited. He plays free safety. For those of you who don't know, I play football, wide receiver and corner, never left the field, did all of that. And now I'm an entrepreneur. So yeah, 2 notifications on Instagram, people going live. So yeah, try it out, Miss Carter. Any questions? Anybody got anything? If you are brand new, I think I could do that. How's the weather? It's a little cold, low 60s. So I live in a place called Menifee. I'm going to show you how what our weather's been like. People trip. So I'm inland. So, I grew up in San Diego, right by the water, all that situation, but I'm a little more inland now. So let me show you what our weather was like. I'm going to show you on my phone. So you got Menifee. Today, the high was 90 degrees. I don't know if you guys could see this. Let me try and zoom in on it. You guys see it? Maybe not. Maybe it may be backwards. It's showing backwards, but yep. So it got to 90 degrees all this week. 90, 93, 90, 93, 92, 89, 86, 82, 80, 82. That's for the next 2 weeks. So in California, one of the things I love about being here, because I've lived in, let me make sure it's clear. I've lived in Ohio for 2 years. Oh, didn't like that. In Toledo, Ohio. It was cool. Detroit's not too far, but you know, growing up in San Diego, you sort of kind of spoiled because during Christmas, we're outside playing football. Thanksgiving, we're playing football. It's not snowing or anything along those lines. And May, a cold day is like 60 degrees. It's just 60, a cold day, but when I lived in Ohio, I will tell you this, Miss Carter, since me and you are the one talking the most in this chat. If you guys got questions, put them down there. But I did like the season changes. Being from San Diego, born and raised, I didn't get to, it was, you have rain. It never rains in Southern California. You may have a week of rain a year. But for the most part, you got the sun out and so forth. And so being there was cool. And the closest thing to the weather we had in San Diego was fall. So I loved fall when I was in Ohio. And, it was cold below. We had negative times. It was super cold. But that's why California costs so much more money, because of the weather and, obviously the beaches and stuff. But it was different. It was different, But, I love California. I'm in Menifee, which is a lot more inland, so it's hot. During the summer, we have days it gets up to like 110 degrees, but it's dry heat, which is a lot different, right, than humid. I witnessed that, in Texas and so forth. It's crazy. But yeah, that's it. So tell me, what kind of credit cards you guys got out there? What credit cards are you guys using? You guys got any secured accounts? You got secured accounts? Hey, I'm not a big fan of secured accounts, but everyone got to start somewhere. But there's quicker ways to grow your credit faster, right? So instead of a secure credit card where you have to go to the bank and give them $500, they hold the money for about a year as collateral. And as long as you use the credit card correctly, they'll give you back that money and then typically change the card to an unsecured credit card. I'm not a big fan of that. But if you have to go that route, go it. It just depends on your situation. Authorized user is a lot better, right? But most of us don't know anybody who we can use who will actually trust you to set up a credit card account as an authorized user. And if that is the case, there are options where you can actually pay. And I know that a lot of that stuff gets really expensive, but if you got $1,000, why not get an authorized user? Pay the $1,000. I charge a lot less. If you want to know my prices, email me. I'll tell you that. But you're better off getting that. So as soon as an authorized user, you find somebody with a large credit balance, at least 10 grand or higher, and the age of the credit is what really matters. So hopefully they've had the credit card account for 3 years plus. You're at as authorized user, you get that history and make sure they keep a low utilization on that credit card. It's not maxed out. And then as soon as it reflects on your credit profile and it shows on TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, which will take you about a month or so, then you go apply for the credit card. But your credit profile has to be set up. You can't have charge off, you can't have late payments and add an authorized user and think they're going to approve you. No, you got to have a clean credit slate, right? No derogatory accounts. No credit is almost as bad as having bad credit. But if you're in that predicament, you don't have any charge off, you don't have any late payments, you don't have anything, you're just starting out and establishing credit, most people tell you to get a secure credit card. And I only tell you to do that if you can't afford to get an authorized user account. But if you can put $500 down, you can get an authorized user account. That's about what I charge. I have a credit card that I use. It's an American Express credit card. I have a $35,000 credit limit on that card. And I add people as authorized users on there for about anywhere from $300 to $500, depending on what it is. For 6 months, I'll add it on your credit profile. I don't start the time until it shows on your credit profile. And then not only that, instead of just adding an authorized user, I'll give you tips with regards to what credit cards to go apply for, so they help you out. And for those of you who are with Navy Federal Credit Union and you're wanting the large balance, I got the credit card for you. Email me. Set that up and we could do that. But nevertheless, authorized user. That's my key. Go authorized user first. No secure credit cards, because secure credit cards, they may make you wait a year to almost 2 years. With an authorized user, in 3 months, you can have a 1,000 plus credit card right off the bat, depending on who you use as authorized user and that credit history that's added on there. But yeah, And then with business, building business accounts, I'm not knocking net 30, net 60 accounts, net 90 accounts, the quills and all that stuff out there. But if you get your personal credit set up, what's one of the biggest issues that we have with businesses is capital, right? And if you need capital, the last thing you need to do is be going to get a quill net 30 account, trying to establish credit for 3 to 6 months and having to buy stuff that you don't need for your business. You leverage the personal credit, and you can get a $10,000 credit card, a 5,000, whatever it is that they give you, even if it's $2,000, you get $2,000, and now you can use that credit as cash to help leverage and build your business versus the quill accounts. It ain't going to help you. So those are two things that are a little different from me. The utilization, as we talked, I say zero utilization. I know people, the market standard, they always say 30%. The reason why they say that is because they know most people aren't using their credit cards like debit cards, and you have large balances. And so people don't like to hear, keep your credit card balance down to a zero. And I'm not even saying keep it at a zero. I'm saying when the statement due date hits, pay it to zero. And then as soon as you pay it on zero on that statement due date, that's when the creditors are going to reflect it. Not the payment due date, the statement due date. If you want to know what that is, look at your credit, your actual statement, your credit card statement, and it'll actually give you when the statement due date is. And you pay it to zero on that date, and then they reflect that, and then you can have a balance on there, and you got 30 days to pay it off again. Now, mind you, I pay all my bills once a week. On Fridays, I go over finances with my wife, and we pay the bills that we have to pay, and that's it. Yep. So yeah, pay the bills that you have to pay at that time span, and then you're all good. So I got a cruise coming up. I'm gonna be gone for a week. We're doing the Mexican one, so we'll be in. I don't know. My wife's the one who knows exactly where we're going, but it's a 7-day cruise. I go cheap, Carnival. We're going to be on the Princess, which is their newer ship. So I know there's a lot of bad stuff about Carnival, but it works, man. When you got as many kids as I have, you know, it works. It's an all-inclusive spot, right? You go, you ain't got to worry about food. You ain't got to worry about much entertainment for the kids. They have the daycares and all the stuff where you know, you as a parent, you can get your free time. You got all the foods, you got the comedy shows, you got all the stuff that comes with it. It's just easy, man, with regards to that. And so, yeah, we're going on a 7-day cruise here. And yep, we'll be gone. And so I'll be gone from Saturday. This Saturday, we're leaving Saturday, and then we won't be back till next Saturday. And so I'm going to try and enjoy that time span and not do much work or anything. So if you're a client of mine, I will be sending you guys an email letting you know I will be out of town for that week, but I will be answering any questions and so forth. I want you to have access to me in case you have questions and so forth with regards to it. So, yep, that's what it is, man. Thank you guys for staying in. I'm going to get out of here in about an hour. Are there any questions? Do you own property? Yep. Just like me and Miss Carter. So that's how it is. I don't care. One person come in. If it's by myself, I'm going to be talking. Eventually, more and more people will start joining and seeing it as I grow this channel. I do have 1,000 subscribers. I don't have the watch time. You need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch time hours to get your channel monetized. I'm about 100, maybe 150 hours away of watch time away. Or no, 1,000, excuse me, 1,000 watch time hours away from getting the channel monetized. But we're growing, man. We all got to start somewhere. There was a time I would not have done a YouTube video at all, and now I'm comfortable being in front of the camera. I don't have a problem with it because we're talking about subjects and matter that I understand. To a certain extent, I would say I'm an expert, but I'm learning. I'm always learning. There's people who come and tell me stuff that I didn't know, and I'm always learning. As soon as you stop learning, then you're going to lose. I don't care how old you are. You got to always be willing to learn. I'll talk quickly before we go out on the book that I'm reading. Let me see. Always trying to read. So it's Jane I don't know how to pronounce her name, but let me put this back on me so the light's on. But this book, Imaginable, it's about, basically, she teaches you to sort of kind of look at your life in 10-year increments and to sort of kind of look at the bad stuff that may transpire. And the odd thing about the book that made me get this book is, as we know, we had the pandemic. And please, YouTube, I hope I'm not violating anything, but we had the pandemic, right, in 2020. In 2017, she did an actual study with regards to, I think it was like 2,000 people. And they basically did something like the pandemic, said that there was some type of virus that went around. They shut down people as far as school goes and going to school and working from home and all of that. And they made all these scenarios with regards to life at that time span. And they basically did that. And it was cool because the people who went through that class handled the pandemic a lot better. So a lot of times you want to look at your life in 3 to 10-year increments and look at the good versus the bad. It's one thing to look at your life 10 years in advance and say, hey, you want to be a millionaire, you want all this great stuff. But one of the things we don't think about is trauma, or, no one could expect it that they would have shut down the world, right? But there were people who actually did studies on that, and it helps you to level your head so you're not, freaking out about what's going to happen, right? I'm not worried about the recession. I'm not worried about inflation. You want to know why? Because I prepared my credit, I prepared myself, and I'm putting myself in position to where if stuff comes, you're going to be able to work it out. It's almost like the stock market, right? You have the bull market when everything's going good, stock prices are high and things are great. And then you have the bear market when things are tough and everybody's selling because they don't know what's going on with regards to stuff. I try and live my life on a normal plane, right? We're going to have ups, you're going to have downs. That's just the cycle of life. But if you can be prepared, the more prepared for the downs, the downturn, and when things are up, you're storing your coffin and filling it up so that when it goes back down, it's going to go down every time. Things are good and things are going to go down. You're prepared for it. So be prepared for that. Thank you guys for joining this YouTube. The guys who have joined in and have watched it. I'm going to be doing this every Tuesday. Next Tuesday, I won't be doing it. So I'll probably do it again. Maybe Thursday or Friday. I'll do a little more announcing with regards to it. Miss Carter, thank you. So much gratitude to you for reaching out and saying this stuff. And so much gratitude to the people who've actually watched this video stream and seen this face for an hour. Till next time, I'm probably going to jump in on Thursday again and answer some questions and so forth. Thank you guys. You guys all be great. If you're looking at getting your credit repaired, go to my website, assetdebtcollector.com. Sign up for a free 20-minute consultation. We'll see if we're fit, and we'll go from there. I'm learning every day, learning something new tonight. I'm happy that I did that. Thank you, Miss Carter. And I'm always learning as well, reading and doing everything. So I'm thinking maybe Thursday, because we're going to be packing and stuff. So I'll probably go back live Thursday since I won't be doing it next Tuesday. I'll be out of town. So you guys, I say this on every single video, be great. I don't care what's happened to you, what you've gone through, what circumstances you've been through. The mind state is so important. What you think and what you say, what you watch, what you hear, what you listen to, all of that stuff matters. So be wise with that. Talk to you guys. See you guys later.